We are live, Nigel.
Going on.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Big Miller Basketball Show. We're happy to have all you guys back. We thought it was a great first episode with Vic. Tonight, it is just Nigel Wright and I. Um, it'll be the three of us rotating out
Yeah.
in different combinations for this show. And we may bring in other guests or whatnot, but tonight it is Nigel Wright and I. So, Nigel, you weren't on here last week. Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you play a part in with this Big Miller event stuff.
Yeah, man. For all the people that don't know, my name is Nigel Wright with COE Films. Pretty much, man, Big Miller events that come about, we put everything together all up under one umbrella. Kind of one of the guys that just help streamline this thing and make sure that the events that we're putting together be some of the best that the state be able to participate in, and not only for the programs, but for the community. So that's what Big Miller events is about, bringing basketball and other events together just to make one place, one stop shop for your basketball sports and your media spot in your media fix, so to speak.
We touched on this a little bit last week, but I feel like we're not doing it justice. We don't let you talk about it just at the beginning. Talk about like why Big Miller events is a thing. It's not so much like maybe the name part of things that maybe people who don't know who Big Miller is.
Yeah, see, Big Miller. Big Miller is Kevin Miller for everybody that don't know, but Big Miller is Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller was a guy that was instrumental, very instrumental in the media world here in the state of Arkansas. Was a staple, grounded in basketball and other youth sports such as football. He did dab in other sports, but football and basketball was mainly his niche. Just to give you an overall view, man, Kevin was he was embedded in basketball and into the sports deeply, and he inspired a lot of not only just myself and Nick and Chris, but a host of other guys, and just kind of kickstarted some things. Kevin and I, we was one of, you saw Kevin, you saw me, and we kind of bounced ideas off each other early in the process, and started out with just a few open runs that we put together, and it kind of snowballed from there. And when I say snowball, I'm talking about we had two open runs. Even during COVID, it was one of them deals where it turned out to be a success, but we didn't even know how it would turn out. But it turned out to be a success, and from there, man, we just was stoked about it, and it's just started building from there. And of course, the matchup showcase, that come about, and Kevin just was an inspiration to us all, man, and just being able to just be around him and kind of just experience his friendship and just his fatherhood towards his kids, his family. It was a blessing, and just being able to kind of tie everything together and make sports, one of them deals that we bonded with. It was just amazing, man. We took that and just
Ran with it.
Man, and now it's just he got some wheels of his own, and I'm just trying to keep it going along with you, Chris, Vic, and a host of other guys that's in here, man. We just keeping this thing rolling. And Big Miller events, Big Miller show, Big Miller show. So it's popping off.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like we got a lot of this past week. I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much and spread too many of the details and all, but this past week was a really big week for us. We got a lot of balls rolling in different areas of the state, and we're really excited to share more and lock teams into different things and feature some players and.
Oh yeah, man. Don't want to let too much out the bag. Don't want to speak on too much because it's still in the beginning processes. But there's a host of things that we have in play, man, and I'm excited. I'm excited for what it's going to bring to the state and how it's going to impact, not only just for exposure for the youth, but exposure for the state. This is something that we feel like the state is needing, and programs and kids are needing. So we're just going to, just put our minds to it and put our feet on the ground and just get to walking. So hopefully in the next few months, you all will get some exciting news. Well, it might be before then, but you'll get some exciting news. And we're working hard, y'all. We're working hard trying to get this thing off the ground. And hopefully you all will be excited just as we are.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff, but we're not going to spend this whole podcast episode talking about all the things that we plan on doing. We have a fun episode planned tonight. We're going to talk about what happened last week. We do have a kind of a shorter week of a turnaround. Our first episode was on a Wednesday night, and so we're not going to talk about stuff that happened before that. So stuff that happened since Wednesday. We're going to look into this coming week, and we have a loaded slate of games this week across the state. And then I have a fun little thing that I didn't really tell Nigel much about. I wanted to get his raw reactions to it and kind of talk about some state tournament fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to start with the state tournament thing. So Nigel, I sat down Sunday night, and this was the reason why I wanted to make sure we did this episode before the games Tuesday, because things will obviously change. There's a lot of basketball still to be played this season. But if things were to end right now, I figured out brackets for 6A and 5A boys and girls.
Okay.
So obviously you can't do 4A and lower because there's regionals and districts and whatnot that'll obviously change matchups. So there's no point in even looking at it. But it was really interesting to see, especially the 6A boys. I was really surprised, and honestly, 6A girls. There's some interesting matchups, and it's one of those things where, like, obviously there's a long ways to go. But for example, right now Little Rock Christian boys are a 3 seed. And you get to see, like, okay, am I matching up with Benton or Marion? And you can see how things will come together in, I guess, a month from now, or less than a month from now, really. So I don't care what we start with. You know what? Let's not overthink things. I'll start with 6A boys, right?
Okay.
And really, I maybe should text you these so you can see them instead of me just repeating myself over and over again. Let me do that real fast.
Yeah. 6A, man, it's gonna be a gauntlet going through that 6A. It's some good. The teams are peaking at the right time. I'm excited to see how this thing is going to unfold.
Yeah. So 6A will be at Bryant, 5A will be in Farmington. So keep that in mind. So Farmington boys and girls will both have the home court advantage, the home crowd. Teams will have to travel up to that corner or to Bryant. So definitely keep that in mind. But we'll start with 6A boys. At the moment, Bryant is the 1 seed. I don't have the records in front of me, and I don't know if there's tiebreakers. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. I don't know if a team owns a tiebreaker. I'm just going off SB Live's standing. So if that's incorrect, if this is incorrect, it's SB Live. So I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
At the moment, we got Bryant at the 1 seed. They will play the winner of Bentonville and Conway. I don't want to spend all night talking about each potential matchup.
Right.
But I do want to maybe highlight some of the interesting games, right? And I think that personally is one of them. I think Bentonville, when Marley's playing the right way and Conway's playing together the way they're capable of, I think, I'm not saying that it will happen, but I think that game could have a state contender in it, really. And that's the 4-5 game. That's the first game of the 6A tournament, and I think that's a banger.
Man, that Bentonville, they was at the showcase. We had a chance to see them early. Also had a chance to see them at the Big Miller team camp. Coach Swift and Summerwood Sports, those guys do an amazing job being able to help put that on. But we had a chance to see Bentonville early, and then we had a chance to see them in the showcase. So, but I also been following them along the way. And Bentonville, man, they in the mix. So, if they can just be consistent, with their play heading into everything, I feel like they can be making some noise, man. I know Conway along with KJ and Yeah, those guys, they putting together a run. I had a chance to watch them in the Conway Classic. They can be streaky. You know what I mean? You can't sleep on Conway.
To be honest with you, either one of those teams, I could see winning a state championship next year with that 2027 class. That class might be a little down on paper, I think, but Marley and Kai, like they have a good duo. Conway has a good young duo. So I mean, that game will be a fun one just to see maybe what we have to look forward to next year.
Yeah, Kyron Franklin, man, he had 23 points the other night. He did some good stuff the other night. I was impressed to see him come alive. Along with Showtime, Marley, he'll fill it up, and I think, man, you get those guys in the mix, they can do something. That's gonna be a good game. Bentonville, that's gonna be a good game.
If it happened, yeah, absolutely. On the same side of the bracket, it would be Jonesboro and Northside. I think you got Coach Swift. You got probably the pinnacle, one of the pinnacles, I should say, I guess, of current high school basketball coaches statewide, regardless of gender. And you're playing against Cody Wilmoth, who honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, Nigel, but I think Cody's one of the bright up and comers across the state. I mean, Cody. That would be a fun game just from a coaching standpoint. Maybe not so much from the players, and not from the players. I think they got talent on both sides, but the coaching on that one would be really fun to see.
So you're talking about two exceptional guys, Coach Swift along with Coach Wilmoth, man, two exceptional guys that's very passionate about basketball, and they all about developing. Yeah. And you look at some of the players that come through their up under their coaching umbrella, they're developed and ready for the next level. So don't be surprised if that matchup can be a barn burner. I know Jonesboro, man, being able to watch them in the Barry Pruitt Classic and cover them and watch, how they play with BJ Knowlton and those guys just being able to, get up and down. I feel like if those teams come to play that night, I feel like
either team.
Yeah, coaching will play a big part, but those are two tough teams with hard grit guys, and they ready to come battle every time they hit that floor. So that should be a good one as well.
The winner of that would play Harbor, and Harbor. I mean, Tommy Deffinbaum tried to tell us early on they got a squad, and he was absolutely right.
Yeah, he did. He told me, he said, Nige, that don't be. He called me Nige. Coach Tommy be like, Nige. He said, don't be surprised now. We don't make some noise. These guys, they pretty tough now, and I be done. Saw them in the Big Miller team camps. Yeah, that's why the Big Miller team camp is, and these team camps is so important. I feel like if you get a chance to watch them early, you can see the development. Not just from last year, but you get to see the ones that's stepping up in new roles. Taking on the leadership roles, being able to see how they're commanding the team, be able to embrace it. You can see trickles of it early,
I think it's really fun to see later on, look back on, like reflect on it and see, Leighton Weaver has really made like big strides in his game or whatever. You can really see where their games are coming together.
Yeah.
On the bottom side of the bracket, it's the West 1. So you have Fayetteville, and they'll play the winner of Little Rock Southwest and Rogers. And to me, those are two very contrasting styles. You got a team that's going to shoot it, a team that's going to grind it out. Rogers is another one that told you don't sleep on us. And honestly though, like Southwest beating Little Rock earlier this year, they're not the same Southwest team that everyone's familiar with.
No, do not sleep on Southwest. They're one of those sleeper teams. You get in there and you get a chance to watch them mix it up, and you can see exactly how that program and that coaching staff has really put their footprint and their handprint all over those boys. And now when I tell you that team can get hot like that, they can get hot like that. And I'm just ready to see them put it together, man. I know they beat North Little Rock, and that was impressive. That was an impressive win. And a lot of people was thinking North Little Rock was going to go in there and beat them and beat that team, but Southwest came to play.
And I got another one for you. Rogers can shoot it. They can. I mean, dude, that's a tough one.
Oh yeah, Rogers, man. I had a chance to watch them down in the Ronnie Brogdon Invitational up in Highland, and those guys was putting together a nice streaking a nice streaking win up there. I think like a 4-game winning streak. They made it all the way to like the champion.
This game happened the same time as our matchup showcase, so we weren't really tuned in other parts of the state.
Yeah.
But when Rogers beat Jonesboro, everyone thought, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why is Swift losing to Rogers? And everybody thought that was just the craziest thing. And now looking back on it, like, no, Rogers is solid.
Yeah, you can't sleep on Rogers, man. Listen, I feel like if you get a team like Rogers in it and they're mixing it up, I'm not gonna lie. When they was up in Ronnie Brogdon Invitational, I was damn near like, man, they looking like one of the best shooting teams in the state.
They might be.
And don't get me wrong, when I say the best shooting team in the state, they was knocking them down. Dog. I'm talking about. I think at one point in time they went like 5 for 5 up there. I'm talking about, and they was doing it consistently. They was knocking down the 3-ball consistently, and it surprised me because I heard about what Roger was doing, but I didn't get a chance to get up there and watch them. I know they're in Northwest Arkansas, and I try to give everybody some love, but my time is stretched thin, and my resources don't go that far. But being able to lay eyes on them in the Ronnie Brogdon Invitational, it was refreshing to see them guys play.
And I think another reason why I wanted to do this, because, in the 6A, you get a bye, right? If you're the top 2 seeds, you get a bye.
Yeah.
And I think this really goes to show how important that bye is, because check out this matchup. If Bentonville West doesn't get into that two seed or the 1 seed, whatever, they don't get into that 2 seed, they're currently at the 3. They're playing Little Rock Central. In the past, not all the time, but in the past, there's a lot of times when you're a 3 seed coming off a pretty good season, you're looking at the 6, you're like, man, we might have a little pushover game, but Central's not a pushover. The Central, me and Vic talked about this last week, so I don't want to hammer this home, but I mean, like I said last week, Central's probably the most talented team in the state, like in terms of a top to bottom roster.
Yeah,
they're 10, maybe 11 guys deep. Central's really solid. That's a really, really tough draw for a 3 seed in the West.
Well, see, a lot of people don't know, man, and that's why it's important for the state to show up to the teen camps, man. I encourage everybody, man, come show out to the Big Miller teen camps, and be able to come lay eyes on these guys. The Central was playing their butts off in the teen camp, and you had a chance to kind of see some flashes of them. I know Blair got hurt. Blair got hurt, and that team kind of, it lost that chemistry from the teen camp on up. But Blair is back, and I think they're trying to get back into their rhythm, because once they get in the rhythm, they can be a scary team up in the 6A.
Yeah, and that's a tough draw for Bentonville.
Yeah.
The winner of that will be North Little Rock. So, I mean, imagine seeing Little Rock Central and North Little Rock, that great rivalry in the state tournament. I mean, you get to see that 3 times in a year. That's got to be fun.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one, Doc.
I don't want to go down the whole bracket and be like, pick winners. I don't want to do all that this far out, because a lot's going to change. But I don't want to spend all night on this. So, moving to 6A girls, currently North Little Rock's the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Winner of that is Fayetteville and Conway. Fayetteville, their girls are loaded, right? You got Conway girls who, both of those programs historically, the last 10, 15 years, you expect them to see, you expect to see both of those teams in the bye game.
Powerhouse, yes.
That's a tough draw for North Little Rock.
Coach Vic, with the Fayetteville Bulldogs, Coach Vic, his pedigree. Coach Vic gonna have him rolling. So that game right there, it'll be a barn burner. That's a nice matchup. I like that.
And then the winner of that goes play North Little Rock. So theoretically, you might get another North Little Rock in Fimple versus Hutchcraft game.
Yeah.
Those are always great. It might have been so great later. We'll touch on that later. But historically, it's been great. And maybe Conway's not the same team they usually are. But I mean, that's a team that I don't want to match up with. That's for sure.
Yeah, they lost a lot, but Coach Hutchcraft, she's gonna get every ounce of energy and talent out of those girls. So be on the lookout for Conway, man.
And then so you move a game down, the Central 3 versus the West 6.
Mm-hmm.
Little Rock Central and Bentonville. That's another one. Like both of those teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bentonville was. I think they lost in the state finals last year to Northside. So you got the state runners up and Little Rock Central. I think Central won. They won the year before last.
Yeah,
you got two teams that are in the state finals.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 3 and the 6. So that's another. You're not going to get an easy game. And the winner of that would play Northside, and Northside they're phenomenal this year.
The Northside, whew, they always.
Yeah, I mean,
with that heat, dog. So
Coach Smith, there, it's just year after year.
Yeah, year after year. I mean, Central.
I mean, honestly, that whole top half is year after year.
Yeah,
I remember at the media days, I think we had Conway first, and Hutchcraft was like, we're always in this game, we're always in there, and then you start to think about it, and that was the first one. So you're thinking, dang, Conway's been really good when you put the numbers in hindsight. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't want to misquote. Then you have North Little Rock. I think Fimple came next, and we were like just blown away by his numbers and how prepared he was. And he posted the other night. I think I have this on our notes for later on in the episode, but I can go ahead and touch on it. They've won 20 games. He's been North Little Rock for 20 years now, I think, or the last 20 years. They've won 20 games in the last 19 of the last 20 seasons. So every year North Little Rock's in there.
Wow.
And then you got Northside. Ricky, he came up there and he's like, we've been there. I think he said like 34 of 36 years we're in the state semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that top half is a gauntlet. Whoever makes it out that top half, I mean, they'll probably be the state championship winner if it holds that way.
Coach, that Central, Coach Marlin.
Yeah,
man, listen, I had a chance to watch them too. And, they're one of those teams, like I know they're young and, Coach, he lost a lot, but don't be surprised if that Central team with that pedigree and that experience of the ones being able to battle early, being in those hard, and Coach Marlin do not shy away from tough, competition. He always in the mix, and he want those girls to get everything they can get out of that. And I think it shows up. It shows up around about this time. You know what I mean? They get them battle tested. It shows up around about this time. So Central, one of those teams that's still ready to strike at any time.
On the bottom half, it's Harbor would be the 1 seed right now, and they would play Jonesboro and Springdale. It's another two teams that, I mean, they're all Jonesboro. Granted, both of these teams are not what they usually are, but
right.
I mean, you can't really count. I mean, you expect to see these teams late in the year.
Right.
Moving down, I don't want to talk about every single matchup all night long. We got Bentonville West, Cabot. That's another one, and the winner of that would play Bryant. Who's Bryant? Bryant is Bryant. In every sport, you just expect to see Bryant at the end.
Yeah, man. At Harbor, number 1 seed, they tough, man. I'm just trying to see, that matchup right there. Now, Bryant, I watched them play over at Little Rock Christian, and they was able to get the win over at Little Rock Christian. Listen, Bryant is a young squad as well, so be looking for Bryant to make a lot of noise, and don't be surprised.
And they're at home too.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to say. They're making a lot of noise, but when you got them in their own arena, own gymnasium, it'd be tough. That could be tough.
Speaking of their same gymnasium, we're head to 5A. We got at the moment we got Farmington versus Nettleton. Farmington, I mean, they're just so sound, fundamentally sound. We'll touch on their performances they had this past week in a little bit. But I mean, Nettleton's a team. I mean, they got athleticism that Farmington might not have. I mean, Nettleton's not having quite the year they usually have, but that's another one.
Coach Lincoln, hey, I seen Nettleton down at the Barry Pruitt Classic, and I'm telling you, them guys scrapping, man. They physical, they like to play fast, and they can get streakier behind the arc. But Farmington, they're just a machine, and I know they a well-oiled machine. And Coach Taylor always had them prepared. And don't be surprised if Farmington be all the way at the end. Especially coming out that top half up there.
We got Vilonia and Hot Springs in the C2 versus S3 one. And again, a lot will change. But, I mean, just tomorrow night we got Vilonia versus Little Rock Christian.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great one. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Vilonia's they've played with teams and beat a lot of teams that no one expected them to play with. Yeah. They're super well coached. Hot Springs has all the talent in the world. Van Hayes, he's one of, if not the best freshman in the state right now. He's unbelievable.
And Van, the truth.
And I don't think Hot Springs is going anywhere for the next few years.
Oh no, they're gonna be in the mix. They're young, and I'm telling you right now, Coach Hayes. Anybody know Coach Hayes? He animated, and he got a lot of energy. So I think that I think that helps fuel those players. Even though I know they're young right now and they're kind of down at the moment, but that energy with that extra, get out, I feel like that could help fuel the team to some major wins. And Mike could be streaky heading on into the championship rounds.
Or just later in the game, not even championship, just later.
Later.
I mean,
Later.
That's neither one of those things are some of that I necessarily want to see.
Yeah.
And speaking of a team that I don't want to see, the next one seed, you got Marion and Mountain Home, and honestly, a quick, just little off the top of my head, I mean, Marion might be the best team in the state. They knocked off Bryant. They did have some scares with Westminster, but I mean that's a rivalry game. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. But outside of that, I mean, in their conference, it feels like no one's even playing close with them.
Man, Coach Lou, Coach Lou always had those guys prepared. I mean, that's a very scrappy team. They're gonna get up in you from if he press you, you can see just the energy that those guys play with, and the determination that they play with, that they are looking to try to win this thing because they always be in the mix. And I think this year they're looking to try to get it.
I mean, historically, you think of Marion. I mean, not historically, but at least the last, 10 years. You think of Marion and you think defense. But this year they got the offense.
Yeah, they got it.
and Mountain Home, I mean, the Gilbert kid, he can shoot it too. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see how they guard him and how that shakes out if that was to come true.
My home tough too now.
Yeah.
My home tough too now. Don't sleep on Mountain.
So I don't want to look too far ahead. Again, a lot can change, but the reason why we're doing this is just to show how important some seeds are. And right. I would hate to be in that top half because if you mess around and you're the 2 or the 3 seed in the Central, you got a tough path. You got to go to Farmington, play Farmington. You got to go through Marion, and here's one for you. The next game, the potential final game, you got Sheridan and Little Rock Christian. So you might see Little Rock Christian and Marion rematch in the quarterfinals, and that's a game that a lot of people would like to see as the finals.
Ooh, that Little Rock Marion and Christian game, man. If that game do wind up being, that's going to be a battle. And that right there, if one of those teams get hot, JJ, along with the addition of
Justice and Boggs
Justice Moore, Ethan Boggs, man.
I mean,
that team
that shows how important. So Friday night, and we'll talk about it later. But Friday night we got Parkview, Little Rock Christian. If Parkview sweeps Little Rock Christian, I mean that might be it might be locked up for the 1 seed. I don't know the standings. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know how many losses Little Rock Christian has, but they got a tough road ahead of them to climb back in and possibly move into that 1. Because I mean, at the moment, if you get the 2 or the 3 and you're matched up with Farmington, that Marion side of the bracket, that's tough, man.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I'm looking at it. Yeah, that top half is going to be a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Ben Greenbrier. Let's talk about that Ben Greenbrier.
Ben's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, spread with Brian
Cal, Javarius Russell. I mean,
DeVar's Russell, listen, hey, those kids, those players right there, Coach Hendricks, they got that pedigree and they have that experience. That they last year they won.
Yeah.
They know how to win. So that plays a big part when you get into the meat, into the thick of everything. So that plays a big part, that experience. Be looking for that team to make some noise, man. Benton got hot now. So, I think they won their last 8?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like every time I go on Twitter or Instagram, I see Simi posting, "Benton won again, Benton won again." And it's usually not a close game.
Yeah, I mean they peaking at the right time. And Coach Hendricks, I talked with him a while back, and he was telling me like we'll be okay. He was like, we just need to start putting some things together, get them in a rhythm. We'll be okay. So I feel like this is what he's talking about. They peaking at the right time.
We got Greene County Tech and Alma, and I mean I know Alma took it off the chin against Farmington the other night, and again we'll talk about that what Farmington did to him. But I mean Greene County Tech, they can shoot the lights out, and that's not a team that I want to match up with. They can shoot it, and if they're hitting their shots, there's not. I mean, it's one of those things. If their three balls falling, they're going to be a tough out for literally anyone in the state.
Yeah.
Parkview, Pine Bluff. I mean, that's going to be a dogfight if that happened. I mean, Parkview is clicking right now, but that shows how important that one is versus the 2 or the 3.
Let me tell you something about Parkview, man. You watch Parkview from the teen camp, all the way up until now. You can't tell me, even through the showcase, you can't tell me that this team right now has figured it out and they're clicking on all cylinders. I think Lanier, his motor and his leadership has sparked energy in those guys, along with
Hansberry, Colby Bell.
And Coach Harrison, man.
Coach Harrison had a quote at media day, and he said something like, "There's no more easy wins. When you come to John Bear, there's no more easy wins," and he was right.
Yeah,
he was right. And it might not. It's still not quite what Parkview once was, but it's getting there.
Man, I tell you, man. I called Parkview. I call that the trap house over there, man. It gets loud. Everything is right. The whole crowd seems like it's right on top of you. You know what I mean? And that energy in Parkview is damn near unmatched. And I know for a fact, because my son, he went to Parkview, but just the energy and the fan base alone, man, it helps thrive that team. It helps push them during tough times and during big games. So be prepared for Parkview to make some noise.
And then finally, Van Buren and West Memphis. And those are 2 teams that might be scrappy, might surprise somebody. You move over to 5A girls before we turn page to something else here on the show. Farmington girls versus Marion girls. Easton McCullough. I mean, that's a team. Farmington girls, they're unbelievable this year. Easton McCullough, and every time you get on Twitter, Instagram, you see that she went for another 30, 40 ball.
Yeah.
And you're not surprised.
She went crazy the other night. Man, I'm talking about she's in the league of her own as of right now. She's clicking on all cylinders. Easton McCullough, she doing her thing right now. That her support has now.
So here's one.
Has now.
Marion, you don't want to see them, but I don't want to look ahead too much.
Yeah.
But you got a possible Whitley Rogers versus Easton McCullough in the quarterfinals.
Oh my!
Farmington. That would be must-see TV.
Oh, I'm down there. I have to see that. If that matchup was to happen, I have to stop what I'm doing. I'm going. I will have to be at that game, without a doubt.
Still in that top half, you got Greene County Tech girls versus Greenwood. Greenwood's always, it feels like they're always in it, but I mean Jason Smith, he's got his girls playing hard.
Yeah.
They were in the finals last year.
Yeah.
If Farmington and Greene County Tech ended up meeting in the semifinals, that would be another great girl game that you'd have to see, just to see that rematch and what Greene County Tech might be able to do with Farmington. You got Lakeside Greenbrier. That'd be a great game.
Yeah.
Lake Hamilton girls in Maumelle. I know you're high on Lake Hamilton.
Yeah, man. like I said, Lake Hamilton, they're one of those teams. They last year, I feel like, they got, I think Greene County Tech knocked them off last year, and they really was a solid group. I know that they're younger. They lost a few pieces, but yeah, Lake Hamilton is still in the mix, man. I like what I see from them early. If they can piece together a nice run and stay consistent, you're looking for Lake Hamilton run deep. Coach, Coach Garrison over there in Maumelle, man. I'm telling you something about Maumelle, and you know about that fan base. But Coach Garrison has been, uh, um, building that squad up, building that program up. And I had talked to him. He said, "Nah." He said, "Man, listen." He said, "We're gonna be okay, and but if we can just kind of, you know, make our to get our team to be on one accord and stay consistent, man, we can really be a tough team to kind of, you know, go against it in the tournament."
I'm gonna let you take the floor on the last couple. I'm gonna post these brackets for everyone to see and look
Yeah,
at on Instagram, and then we can move to the next page. So you don't have to talk about every single one of them in depth, but
yeah.
just run through them.
So you got Nettleton and Van Buren. So Nettleton and Van Buren, I feel like those two programs right there, they always be a solid program, and they always be in the mix. Be looking for Nettleton and Van Buren to be a bomb burner. They're number 2 and number 3 um, yeah, on the bracket. So be looking for their team to do something. Look for their program to do something. Then you got Vilonia and Sheridan. Vilonia. Uh, I mean, what else can you say about Vilonia? They can be one of those teams. They're gonna show up day in and day out. Coach always putting them to the test, and I love the tenacity that those girls play with. Man, they're a really fun team to watch. Sheridan, that's another squad. They're another fun team to watch. Look out for Sheridan. The last one, Mount Home Valley View. Mount Home Valley View. I've been trying to talk to Nick, talk to Chris, and tell them about Mount Home and about how Mount Home's those girls. Listen, I'm trying to get them in the team camp. Um, I might just let the cat out the bag, but trying to get them in the team camp to where I want to be able to see that team, not only but this year, but I want to see them next year. Valley View, of course. Valley View, they always in the mix. I think Mount Home and Valley View, whoever come out of that, Vilonia, Sheridan, and then Mount Home, Valley View, they have a good chance to soar up the bottom of the bracket.
So I posted that on Instagram. If you want to accept that collab real quick, Nigel, so your followers can see it too, and I can talk about this while you do that. We're gonna switch to some of the highlights of the week, whether it be performances, individual performances, or maybe big wins for different teams. I'm not going to look too far much further than I know I mentioned this earlier. We got Farmington and Alma. Them boys, Johnny Taylor, something about getting stats, and maybe he probably takes both of us about after I say this, but maybe he stats differently because it feels like every game for the last, I don't know, since Lane, really, since he got there, it feels like they always have unreal stats. And it's not that he stats differently, it's that he knows how to coach. And he puts his guys in a perfect position, whether it's his play call. He's got an unbelievable point guard with Eli. Eli learned from Lane. And I'll just go ahead and say it. There's no doubt in my mind that Press Taylor is going to learn from both of them, for that matter. And Press will have to be the same thing the next couple of years at Farmington.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Farmington is going anywhere in that area of the state.
Man, Coach, when he came to
mention the stats for me from that game against Alma.
Yeah, so the Farmington stats for against Alma, you had Press Taylor with 30 points, 6 rebounds. Eli Schwartzman with 14 points, 21 assists. 21 assists. How many games have you had 20 plus assists this year?
I mean, it feels like it's every night. It's not every night. He usually texts me and be like, "Hey, go look at our stats." I just had another one, and I
Dude,
told him. So I got a quick little story about it. I told him. So Eli, I went and watched Eli and Farmington play at the Brooklyn Classic.
yeah.
They were playing. I think it was West Memphis.
Hmm.
And after the game, I was talking to Eli, and I think he had 15 assists.
Yeah.
And at the time, 15 assists for him was just another night. But at the time,
Ooh,
the 15 assists is just unheard of.
that was
And we're talking after the game, and I said, dude, I don't know what the state record is. We might need to look this up as we're talking. I said, you got a real chance at breaking that. And that night I texted him and I said, hey, by the way, the record is like 28 or something. I said, you're probably not going to get that, but you can definitely get second. I think second is like 18 or maybe it was 21. I think it was 21 was the real record.
them crazy.
And I said, but you can get second for sure. I mean, that's 18. You're almost already there. And then since that conversation, it feels like every night he's texting me and he would have broken this. He'd be second place. So, I mean, Bobby Swafford, it feels like he's filling out that record book every night, whether it's Demaya or Eli or one of the two. I wouldn't be surprised if you look at the stats, the record book after the season, and the assist leader is Eli for a single game. And I don't know his total count right now, but he's probably number one single season already.
Dude, Ethan Kennedy had 18 rebounds. He had 14 points, 18.
Yeah. UAM has a good one. That's a sneaky good recruit for UAM. That is a big one.
Yeah. Man, that team is rolling, man. You get that team hitting on all cylinders, they hard to beat. Straight up.
We got PA went on the road. PA girls went on the road, knocked off Eric Taylor's number 4 team in the state overall, Earle. Earle beat Conway, just for the record. And I was talking to somebody the other day. They're like, "Where even is Earle?" And I said, "Dude, it don't matter. They're towards Memphis. That's all you need to know. But it don't matter. Them girls can play." And Greenlee Elmore went in there, and she looked like the best player on the floor.
Dude, 23 points, 14 rebounds, to be exact. 23 points, 14 rebounds. Greenlee Elmore, she can get hot and just like that. And I'm talking about, I think, did she hit like 5 threes or something like that?
She is the best player in her class in the state of Arkansas.
Like 5 threes in a row one night. And it was like, Chris had said something to me. I think she was like 5 for 6 one night. And so she can light it up. And don't forget about Randy Stewart, 16.8 rebounds in that game. And, Coach Jefferson and that Earle team now because
they lost. Don't expect it too many more times this year.
I'm trying to tell you now, because I was down there in the Rumble on the Ridge, and that Forest City and Earle game was a burn. When I was texting y'all as the game was going on, and I'm telling you, it was back and forth. That Earle team, Lady Bulldogs, they're the truth. And for them to go in there and get that win, that's saying something.
Yeah. I had the stats from the other for that. You mentioned 4C, and I wanted to touch on the girl that did really good, but I don't have it on our notes. I was trying to find it really quick, but I'll move to this next game and then go back to it as you talk about it. But Parkview's rolling right now. I know they might not be playing the best teams right now the last couple of games, but you can only play who's in your conference, who's on the schedule. But Parkview is rolling lately, and especially Jacob Lanier. We touched on it earlier on the preview, but Parkview is rolling.
Say, man, Lanier has been on a roll, and I'm telling you right now, he's making a strong statement. He was considered for a McDonald All-American along with JJ and the other contestants. But man, that kid has been on fire, and you saw flashes of that from the team camp. But I just like I said, I think with him and his leadership capabilities and what he's been learning and what he had to just grasp, I think he's taking that leadership role personally. You got Kobe Bell and Aiden Hansberry, that support staff. Hey, Kobe Bell, listen, let me tell you something, man. I like that kid, man. I love his energy, great character kid. He has a good family, man, and his character, I feel like it complement Hansberry and Lanier well. I think it's one of those Parkview, one of those teams, man, that hell they can win it all if you can look back and at the end of the season, Parkview be right there in the mix, and if not win it all, they that good.
So I mentioned that Forest City had a good girl the other night, and her name is Kassidy Smith. She had 26 points, 17 rebounds against Stuttgart on Friday night.
Remember I was telling you that night she had 25 rebounds.
Yeah, she can play. And that was when at media days the coach was telling us all about her, and I couldn't wait to see her. I saw her play PA. I guess about a month or more ago, but I mean she's great.
Oh man, listen.
I don't want to talk too long because I feel like this episode's getting carried away from us. And
hey, but before we go anywhere, I want to talk about Forest City real quick and what Coach Karonica has done with those girls. They're young and they are playing lights out and they're scrappy. Let me tell you something. Don't be surprised if Forest City dog make a deep run. Don't be surprised. Coach Karonica, she's very, very one of those coaches that's very passionate about them giving their all, straight up. She get every ounce of energy up out of them, straight up.
So you mentioned the state tournament in 4A, and that's probably looking like where I'll end up at, to be honest with you, there at Morrilton, because the 4A looks great as well. We didn't touch on it earlier, but we got Little Rock Mills boys versus EStem. I mean, it was a tough week for EStem. I'm sure Monty will text us, hey, quit talking about us, type of thing. But I mean, Mills looks great, man. Mills, they had a great week.
Man, you know how Coach Coop do, man. Coach Coop, that's what he don't worry about too much. Coach gonna do him, and you can tell that those guys respond to his coaching. And at the end of the day, they're gonna play their butts off for Coach. And if they're not gonna play their butt off, they're gonna sit down on the bench.
Yeah.
So he'll tell them get on the bench in a minute.
But they can go run in the other gym. That's what's
going on. Coach Coop, he gonna get every ounce of energy and ounce of talent up out those guys, man. But Mills, they always gonna be there. They got some dogs for that team.
And that's another one that knows how to win.
Marshawn Walls, man, come on now.
The 6A West. We talked about the 6A earlier in the state tournament picture, and I mean, I'd be doing it, and I wouldn't be doing it fair if I didn't talk about how wild the 6A West is, and honestly, the Central as well. But the 6A West in particular, on Friday alone, it was so much shakeup. Every game probably went the way that you didn't expect it to.
Yeah, Harbor knocked off Fayetteville.
Blew them out.
Fayetteville
on
was
the road.
Yeah, Fayetteville was what? I think they was like 8-0 too.
They were undefeated in conference, and then Harbor came to town, number 1 versus number 2, and Harbor made a statement.
Exactly, and that's one of those games that, like, I mean, it sends a statement, but it's also it could be one of those games that'll wake you up as well, and humble you. You know what I'm saying? So
Cody Wilmuth, we talked about him earlier, how he was up and comer. They beat Bentonville West. And Bentonville West is a team that, between team camps and the matchup showcase, we thought Bentonville West might win this whole thing. And meanwhile, we got the 6th seed on paper, beating a contender, a state final contender. That 6A is wide open.
Dude, I'm telling you, it could be anybody night. I mean, you had Bentonville West. Bentonville West had beat Harbor.
Yeah.
And Harbor beat Bentonville West. And you got Bentonville West, Northside beat Bentonville West, but you got Coach Trent Lloyd, man, heck of a guy. I'm telling you, another exceptional coach, man, that puts a lot of energy and a lot of passion into getting those guys and developing those guys, and you can see just the development part of it and how those guys respond to them. But be looking for
you don't stop. Rogers beat Springdale at the Final Horn on a 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's any night, every night, it could be someone else's thing. You said it perfectly.
Yeah, any night.
I mentioned this earlier. North Little Rock, they handed it to Conway, and I love Coach Fimp. I love Ashley. I love Hutchcraft, but I mean, it's just North Little Rock's year this year. It feels like. I mentioned this earlier, but I have the stats now in front of me. 22-3. So this year counts towards this. I have it written out, so now I don't misquote it. In the last 20 seasons at North Little Rock, they've won 20 or more games 19 times. That stat alone is just ridiculous, and it just goes to show of how great of a coach Fimple is. He just gets the most out of his girls, and don't get me wrong, he's had some unbelievable girls come through that program.
Oh yeah,
but
and of course plays a big part but coaching. I think it shows his hand. It shows his hand in tough games and in tough matchups. So, and later on in the season as well. So, that's a heck of a stack, man.
Yeah,
20 in the last 20 seasons, 20 games or more 19 times. Damn, that's a stat. That's a stat for you.
So, like I said, go ahead.
What's their record this year? They don't want over
22-3.
22-3.
I'm not sure they've lost to. I didn't write that down, but it's 22-3. So, like I said, I knew we'd have a shorter week on recaps, even though we had a long week because of snow games. We had a shorter week of recaps because we did do a Wednesday night show.
Yeah.
So all of that happened on Friday night alone.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, we should have a full week of recaps, so it might be less of a top heavy show and more recaps. But I don't want to spend too much time on what we're going to talk about next time, because next time is what we're about to talk about. This week we have an unbelievable slate of games.
Yes,
and I might jump ahead a little bit on this one, but the game of the week, you got Little Rock Christian versus Jacob Lanier. We got the Nebraska signee versus the Arkansas signee, 4-star versus 5-star. Whatever storyline you want to put it as, number 1 versus number 2 best friend of state, however you want to look at it, the storyline's there.
Oh, yeah.
Christian, they lost to Parkview at Parkview. JJ didn't play. Jacob Lanier had an unbelievable game. I cannot wait to see the outcome of this game.
You can put it as one of the, you can say, hey, it's the 5A favorites of that matchup, and with
2 of them for sure. But I don't want to leave out Farmington. And I don't want to leave out Marion. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking that they're some of the favorites, but I'm not saying the favorite to win. But they're some of the favorites. But you got a storyline that's that everybody, I'm pretty sure, gonna want to see that game. You got
that crowd might look like the matchup showcase.
Oh yeah. But with them losing and didn't have JJ, it's a big payback. It's the big payback, like James Brown. It's the big payback. They're looking for some payback. So that game is gonna be fire. It's gonna be a lot of energy. And could you imagine the crowd section? I mean the student section in that game?
On both student sections on both sides.
It's gonna be
that's Friday night. So there are other great games to look at on Friday, but I'm going to talk about Tuesday now, and we can go back to Friday.
Yeah.
Tuesday we got Benton and Hot Springs. Hot Springs was talking a lot at media days. I remember I posted a quote graphic, and they played. I guess that was the first time around in conference.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all over my Instagram Benton. They're posting the stat graphic, and they're saying, all that talk, and they're bringing it back up. So media day really, it might have added extra fuel to the fire for that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, media day is always fun when you can talk about things like that, man, and just see them come to fruition. And then once it happened, that just make for might need to put something together, just have them quote certain quotes, and then just to push the matchup, because that's going to be a good
see how it aged type of thing.
Right.
We got Vilonia versus Little Rock Christian. Boys and girls, the boys is a big game. Don't get me wrong. That's the 2 and the 3 seed currently. And like I said, you don't want to get matched up with Marion in the quarterfinals. So that's a big game.
Yeah.
But that's not the game to watch. The game to watch is the first one in the girls' game. You got Whitley Rogers versus Vilonia. Vilonia is always great.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'll be there with you.
Yeah, I'm watching that game. I gotta watch that one. I've been wanting to get to Vilonia and watch and get a chance to watch them play this year. This would be my opportunity. So I'm in there. Next, you got
Fayetteville and Northside girls.
girls.
I mean, that and really the boys too, to be honest with you, like I said earlier, it could be anybody's night. But Fayetteville's always a girls program is always, like we said earlier, they're always, really good. And Northside, it's no different this year. They're incredible.
Oh man, that's gonna be a barn burner.
PA and Robinson, I think from a girls standpoint, that's a great game. Robinson's having a great year. PA's having a great year.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, those are probably two of the better 4A teams, right? And then the boys, it's at PA. It was a great crowd the first time. Baton Paddock's not going to be playing, but Koa Rockwell stepping up huge for the Bruins.
Oh man, that Koa Rockwell kid. Let me tell you something, man. He has been taking that. He took that team on his shoulders, put that team on his shoulders, and he has been doing what he's supposed to do while Baton is out. And when I tell you, that kid has showed up night in and night out. I mean, his stock is rose like this here. It's going like this here. I love to put.
I hate to see Baton out, but this is huge for Koa, and it's a statement type of opportunity for Koa Rockwell.
I like Koa, man. Solid.
The development opportunities he has by not having to rely on Baton and to be the guy, be the vocal leader on and off the court, progress his game, scoring off of the dribble, and staying out of foul trouble. I went to a lot of PA games this year before Baton got hurt, and it felt like the two of them could never get on the same page. It was either one or the other's night, and whether it always felt like Kobe would get in early foul trouble. And him not being able to get in foul trouble, I think will really, really help them next year in Baton's senior season.
And I feel like if Baton wouldn't have gotten hurt, I think he would have been. I think PA would have been a contender, and they are very scrappy and sneaky. And Coach Todd does a great job coaching those guys up, doing big games because they done knocked off.
They beat Vilonia.
Yeah, they beat Vilonia. Yeah,
the 2 seed in the 5A Central right now. They beat them, and they beat them. I mean, it was a close game for most of the game. I was there, but I mean, they beat them pretty handily.
Yeah, that was a pretty good showing from PA. Now the Robinson girls, I mean, that team I think they 14-2 or something like that right now. I think I want to say I don't know if I want to say I saw something like that. I don't want to quote it wrong, but that team is young and that team is very solid. I know Arby Williams. She I think the other night
17-3.
Up like 19 points or something like that. Hey, that's a very solid showing from her. Man, be looking for Robinson. Robinson, a tough team.
Robinson is currently number 2 behind PA. Robinson girls number 2 behind PA in the standings for their conference.
Yeah, I told you, man.
PA's 20-4. Robinson 17-3. That's a great game. It should be a great crowd.
Coach Love doing a very good job with those girls over there.
And Yarborough at PA, I mean, you just expect it.
Oh yeah.
Moving forward to Wednesday, I think it's another snow makeup game. I think it's one of the last ones for that. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but EStem has a chance to rebound against a rival. They play Hall.
Yeah, they play Hall, man, and you know how that go. I'm telling you, Hall had knocked off North Little Rock, in the Rumble on the Ridge, and I was impressed by the way they matter of fact they won the Rumble on the Ridge, and I mean those guys were playing with pace, they were playing with poise, they got streaky, and they were shooting the ball exceptionally well down there as well. So. If
Hall beat Farmington.
Huh?
Hall beat Farmington.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But here's the thing. The game's going to be at the School of the Deaf and the Blind. It gets loud in there. It's right on top of each other. The crowd, that Wednesday night, that's the place to be. It'll be packed. EStem, they can shoot the lights out. That they like to throw up threes. Yeah. Hall, athleticism, they're going to run. I think that'll be a fun game.
Monty, man, he's going to get everything he can out of those boys. I had a chance to watch them in the team camp, and they surprised some people in team camp, and even coming into this season, you know. And I had a chance to watch them in the Conway Classic, and they did very good in the Conway Classic. I
They
mean,
almost beat Bentonville West in the matchup showcase.
I know.
And they almost beat Greene County Tech, the 5A. I guess they the 2 seed. They played for the 1 seed last week, Greene County Tech.
Well, you remember last year? what happened to Greene County?
Actually, no, they beat Greene County Tech, I think.
Did they?
I think so.
I
don't know. It was a really close game. I don't remember who won, but it was like within a couple points.
But you remember last year what happened in Greene County Tech? The regionals when they knocked off Harrison. And everybody was thinking that Harrison was going to be the team, and Monty always.
No, it wasn't Harrison. It was Forest City.
I mean, Forest. My bad. No.
That was at Magnolia. You had me confused there. It was at Magnolia. And everybody thought it was going to be a blowout. And like Monty said though, in the media days, that game's behind us. You know, we're looking forward to this year. That was a huge game for their program. But still, I mean, it felt like, looking back on it, that game, they had a great season last year, but that game was the turning point for Monty Patel's EStem team.
Oh, yeah, they knocked out Forest City. My bad, not Harrison. I don't know why. Harrison lost, too. We thought Harrison
lost early.
Yeah, and I thought they was going to go deep, but they ended up losing. But
on Friday, you move down a little bit lower. Friday, we got Conway girls versus Lake Hamilton. Like we said this earlier, I don't want to be a dead horse. Conway is not having the year they're accustomed to having. Everybody knows that. But it's still Conway. And you got to go to Conway, I believe. You're high on Lake Hamilton. You talked about them earlier. I think that'll be a great game. I'm excited to see the outcome of that one.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good game, man. Greene County Tech versus Nettleton girls. That's the 1 and 2 seed?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if the winner takes the number 1 and 2 seed. I think Greene County Tech has a game or two lead, but I mean, still, it's number 1 and number 2 for a reason.
Yeah,
and that they're close by. It's a huge rivalry. But talking about another huge rivalry, and I'm gonna give a little bit of shine to the smaller schools here. We got EPC and Marked Tree. I think that'll be a great rivalry, great crowd on Friday night. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, EPC. What's their record? I know they pretty up there.
I don't know the record off the top of my head, but they are really good.
They won something like 18, 19 games, something like that. They're really good.
County basketball. I'll look up the schedule. You talk about the next game, and I'll get their schedule. Their record, I mean.
What are they?
They're 18-3. They're 15-0 in conference.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a good one.
Yeah. And then we already talked about Parkview, Little Rock Christian.
And we got Rogers and Fayetteville. And that's another one. I mean, Rogers, I think, is the 5 currently right now, and Fayetteville's the 1, but
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if Rogers won.
Hey man, Rogers, listen, I'm telling you, man, hey, that team is very, very streaky, and you get them while they're clicking, they can be very dangerous. I'm telling you, they was shooting the leather off the ball, man, up in Highland, and it was looking good down there, and they was playing some scrappy teams. They played Blytheville. What did they play? Yeah, they played Blytheville, and Blytheville was
good. Hey, Jameer Guyton's going to be a guy, and I don't want to. I'll have the next episode up a lot, but I mean, on social media the next couple of days. But Vic's got some fun things coming for you about unsigned seniors, and I promise you, Jameer Guyton's on that list.
Jameer Guyton, you can't forget Jakiron Madden. He's another one that's over there at Blytheville. That Mackenzie Pierce is coaching up. So yeah, that team is pretty tough now. I'm telling you.
We'll stay in the 6A West. Talking about Rogers, we'll stay in the 6A West. Talking about Northside and Bentonville. That's another one. It could go both ways. Boys and girls is going to be a great game. I'm excited to see that one.
Is that a rematch?
Yeah, at this point, everything's a rematch in conference.
Yeah, that's a rematch.
I think Northside beat Bentonville, if I'm not mistaken.
Did they?
I think so.
Oh, I can't remember, man. I try to keep up with
but again, it's hard to keep up with the 6A West.
It is.
It's a different storyline every night up there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna close it out with a classic that is always a great game. North
Yeah.
Little Rock and Jonesboro. Something about that game. It doesn't matter if Jonesboro is in the 5A, they're in the 6A. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who Jonesboro has. It doesn't matter who North Little Rock has. That is always a great game. And I remember looking back to the days with when Johnny Rice was there and Swift would come to town. And I, just as a kid going to those games, growing up around North Little Rock's program, seeing Jonesboro come down with the Desi Seals and the guys that were just scrappy, like just that dog type of player. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited to see BJ Knowlton versus Elijah Bryant. I'll be tuned into that one.
Dude, that's gonna be a bomb burner. And you know Northside, they gonna show, and they gonna show out. Hey,
and that north side is special whenever it's jumping. That's a tough place to play.
Oh yeah, and you know Coach Swift gonna have those guys coached up, ready, and BJ Knowlton along with Weaver, Elijah, and you know the rest of those guys. I know it's gonna be one of them games that's gonna have a chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna be ready to play. So I'm ready to see that game as well.
That's all we got for you guys tonight. Nigel, thanks for hopping on. Next week we should have Vic. I will not be on, but it'll be a great episode. Be sure to tune in next Monday. I think we're planning on starting at 7:30 around that time. It should be another great episode. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Hey, listen, I just want to say one thing. Listen, y'all, Big Millie events. It's big things coming for the state. We have a lot of things in play, a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak, and we're really chopping wood right now, trying to make sure we bring it to the best of our ability and have it to where, you know, not only but the state, but the family, the community, and the teams and the programs will all enjoy. So be on the lookout for Big Millie events and what we're doing here.
Yep. Thank y'all.
All right. Have a good night.